What's up, guys? It's Zero here, bringing you all a brand new Gears of War E-Day video, so let's get into it. So guys, obviously, Gears of War E-Day is one of my most anticipated games of the future, if not the most anticipated game of the future, probably tied with GTA 6, but I want to talk here specifically about Gears of War E-Day multiplayer. Now, at this point in time, guys, we have no idea what all Gears of War E-Day is going to encompass from a full package perspective. Obviously, we believe from the recent interviews from the developers over the Coalition and Xbox, they're stating that, Gears of War E-Day is not going to veer very far off from what Gears of War has been, notoriously. So what that would mean is that we're getting a campaign, multiplayer modes, and co-op modes like Horde mode and things of that nature. And so what that leads us to, though, with multiplayer is a really interesting question that's been coming up quite a bit on my channel as well as like on Reddit and different forums is, will Gears of War E-Day's multiplayer, assuming that we're going to get it with E-Day, will the multiplayer be free to play, similar to Halo Infinite? And this is bringing up a really interesting talking point because obviously now with Gears of War Reloaded going to not just Xbox but also to PlayStation, E-Day more than likely is going to follow suit. And so if they make the multiplayer free to play for PlayStation as well as Xbox users, that could be an absolute massive ordeal for Gears of War. Now, that being said, what's interesting about this is I don't know if Xbox would actually decide to make a free to play multiplayer for Gears of War E-Day, because if they try to set the Gears of War campaign, say, at $80, but they make the multiplayer free to play, I think a lot of people would end up skipping out on the actual campaign itself. Not myself, maybe not a lot of Xbox players, but maybe a lot of PlayStation players who don't really know the story would end up not playing the campaign and just play the free-to-play multiplayer. And what I think that it definitely could make the multiplayer bigger than ever before, but at the same time, I think that PlayStation players who have never played a Gears of War title before, obviously they're going to get their chance with Gears of War Reloaded, which is going to have campaign as well as multiplayer, which is going to be massive. But I think that really immersing players into the lore, the story, as well as the multiplayer and the co-op modes is massive, and that's what Gears of War is all about. Gears of War is not just a multiplayer game, it's not just a co-op game or a single-player title. It's all those things that make it a full package, and I think it's really important that players get the, experience of not just playing the multiplayer, but also playing the campaign and those co-op modes. And I think that adding them all together as, a package deal when Gears of War E-Day releases, you release it at $80 for the entirety, that being, multiplayer, co-op, and campaign. I think that keeps the community completely together. Whereas if you split it, where some people are playing the campaign, some play in the multiplayer, and one's free to play, one you have to pay for, it just feels like some division where you're kind of dividing the community somewhat instead of having everybody unified. And so I really think that it needs to all be a packaged deal. I would love, I think it would be awesome for Gears of War's multiplayer to be free to play, but at the same time, guys, I think it's important that everybody, stays unified in terms of, when you purchase this title, everybody has the opportunity to not only play the multiplayer, but also the co-op and the campaign modes. And that's just what I think, guys, and I would love to hear your thoughts about it in the comment section down below. I don't know what the numbers were for Halo and Halo Infinite specifically, it being free to play, what those numbers were like versus, what the numbers were like for the campaign, say, for example, how many copies of the campaign were sold versus how many people playing the multiplayer. Was it worth it for 343 and Xbox to go that route? And if it was really successful, maybe they'll do the same thing with Gears of War E-Day, but at the same time, I just don't want to see them divide the community at all. I want everybody to be unified, especially now more than ever when you have PlayStation coming into the fray as well. But let me know, like I said, guys, in the comment section down below, what you all think about this. Should Gears of War E-Day's multiplayer be free to play, or do you think it should just be included, of course, in the package, that being Gears of War E-Day? Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. And for more Gears of War E-Day content and videos, keep it right here.